Hello, little loves. Welcome to week 31, where we are looking at quadrilaterals and lines of symmetry. For our first set, we are classifying or naming the shapes below. For our first one, this is a square. Now we know we could call it a quadrilateral, we can call it a parallelogram, a rhombus, a rectangle, any of those would work. But we're going to stick with square for now. If you used any of those others, that is perfectly fine. This is a rhombus because a rhombus is a square with outright corners. So we see that we have those matching lines telling us that we have congruent or matching sizes. This one is not a trap, it's a trapezoid. We know trapezoid is the one that looks the least like the others in the quad squad because of these side angles, which come down to cross and are not parallel. Over here we have a rectangle. If you said parallelogram, that would be fine too. Quadrilateral, that would be fine as well. Down here, this one is going to be a parallelogram. Could also call it a rhombus. The only difference is whether or not we have all matching sides. On a rhombus here, we did have all of those matching pieces. Here we don't, but I could definitely see why looking at it, you might also think it's a rhombus, so that's okay. And then this one is a trapezoid. Those are the names of those shapes. If you have questions, bring them with you to class. Let's talk about traits. What are 3 things that make a rectangle a rectangle? It has to have 4 right angles. It has to have opposite sides that match. So 2 short sides, 2 long sides, and parallel sides. These are just some of the ones that you can come up with. If you think of another one and you want to check it, bring it to class. Over here, a square, it's a quadrilateral, so it has 4 angles, 4 sides. All 4 sides are the same length, and our 4 corners are 90-degree angles. So 4 sides, 4 angles, they're all the same length. We have parallel sides, and our angles are 90 degrees or right. If we're talking about a trapezoid, it has 4 angles because it's part of the quad squad. It has 4 sides. And then it only has 1 pair of parallel sides. We know that that is the one that kind of sets it apart from the others, is that it only has 1 pair of parallel sides, whereas all of the others in the quad squad that we talked about have 2. Over here, parallelogram, 4 sides, 4 angles, because it's part of the quad squad. And then this one has 2 sets of parallel sides. Could also talk about this being a lazy rectangle. Over here, the rhombus has 4 sides, 4 angles. All of our sides are congruent or the same length. And we have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Remember, the difference between a rhombus and a square is that a rhombus does not have 4 right angles. And then our last one, our check-in, which one is the easiest to remember? Which one is the hardest to remember? And this is personal preference. Do you have one that's easier to remember? One that's harder? For me, my brain, the first one it pulls for is a square. And the harder one, probably the trapezoid because it looks the most different. There's no right or wrong answer for this. This is just talking about your brain checking in what's easier and what's harder. If you have questions on this page, go ahead as always, bring them to class. All right, we are looking to see if this creates lines of symmetry. Remember in class we talked about folding that piece of paper. So if I were to fold this square on this line, would both of my sides match? Yes, this is a line of symmetry or a line that we can fold on. This triangle, if I fold it down this line, is this a line of symmetry? Yes, both sides are going to match. If we're looking for the heart, is this going to match? No, because if we imagine this piece coming up, it's going to leave these 2 pieces open with no match. No, this is not a line of symmetry. Looking at this one, is this one a line of symmetry if we fold it down? Yes, both of our sides are mirror images. They are going to match and overlap perfectly. Is this a line of symmetry? Yes, both of our sides are mirror image. If we fold, they're going to overlap perfectly. And then this cutie, is this a line of symmetry? No, because we don't have this side on the opposite end. So this side would match, but then this side is going to be different. Is it a line of symmetry? No, it is not. If you have questions, go ahead and bring them with you to class. This one, I'm asking you to draw one line of symmetry. If you drew more, is that a problem? Absolutely not. But I'm just looking for at least one. All right, let's make this a little bit smaller. One line of symmetry that I see is just going straight down the middle. Oh, I'm a little offsides. I'm a little offsides. Let's fix that. Try and get it a little bit closer to the middle because it's a thicker pencil. There we go. One line of symmetry for this guy. For this one, I want my line of symmetry. So I'm going to make sure that I have a mirror image on both sides. I'm going to draw it right down the middle. So one line of symmetry. For this one, I'm going to flip my ruler this way because I want everything on both sides to be the same. So when I draw this one line of symmetry right down the middle. This one's tricky because of the edge. We're going to have to tilt our ruler to the side just like this. And boom, mirror image, one line of symmetry. Coming down here, I'm going to do 90 degrees, looking for the middle. And then our last one. Again, this is kind of tricky like that other one. We need to make sure that both sides are a match. They have the same space. And there we go. Here are our one line of symmetry for each, making sure I have a mirror image. And then our last one, this one I asked you to do two lines of symmetry. Now I'm going to give you two, but they're not going to be the only ones. If you made one and you're not sure if they're a match, bring it to class. I will be happy to check you. I'm going to do up and down. Then I'm also going to do left and right. Both of those will be a line of symmetry. Same thing for this one. I'm going to do left and right. Oop, let me move it up a little bit. That's not the best middle because it's a thicker pencil. So I'm going to do left and right. And then I can also do up and down because if I cut this through the middle, it's going to have those equal arrows on both sides. Looking at my star, I'm going to go top to bottom or up and down. And then I'm going to go at a diagonal. So if I take a diagonal from each of my points, just like I did in the top, that's always going to give me another line of symmetry. For this one, I'm going to do up and down. I could do left and right, but let's do a diagonal just for something that is a little bit more tricky. I'm going to do diagonal. So I could do up and down, I could do left and right, but I could also do a diagonal on that one. This one, up and down, left and right, definitely gonna work. Diagonal's not gonna work on this one. And our last one, this is tricky. Snowflake, up and down. Oh, I turned my eraser on. That's not what I wanted, up and down. And then I can also do a diagonal right here. All right, so faces, that brings us to the end of our pages. If you have questions or something that is not explained here, go ahead and bring them with you to class. See you next time.